everybody, it's me again, Curly, and I am here today at Talking Water Gardens to talk to you about your water filtration lesson. And we're at Talking Water Gardens because it's a great example of a wetland right here in the middle of the city. So what do I mean when I say wetland? Take out your data sheet and take a look at your thought bubble. Right in the middle it says the word wetland, and I want to know what words come to mind when you hear wetland. So what is a wetland? What do I mean when I say I'm here at a wetland? On your worksheet, you completed a thought bubble exercise where you connected words that you associate with wetlands to that center wetland bubble. Here's an example of one that I did. A wetland is an area of land where water covers the land or sits right at or below the surface for all or part of the year. So all wetlands have a few things in common aside from being wet. All of them provide 5 services. They do 5 jobs that help to keep the environment healthier and cleaner. All wetlands filter water. Water actually comes out of a wetland cleaner than when it went in. And because of all the plants that grow in a wetland and take up carbon dioxide, a wetland is a really great carbon sink. That means carbon goes into a wetland and it can stay there for an indefinite period of time. Wetlands also hold onto water, so they can help to reduce floods. When they let go of that water, when they release that water, they do so very slowly. So even if a large volume of water comes into a wetland very quickly, it is released out of the wetland a lot slower. So standing here, I hear lots of birds around, and there's lots of wildlife here at Talking Water Gardens. And that's because wetlands provide a great variety of habitats for wildlife to live. Wetlands are also a really great place to recreate, to spend time, to go out and enjoy nature. In the spring and summer months when all these aquatic plants are blooming, it's absolutely beautiful out here. And like we said, there's lots of wildlife, so there's the opportunity to see birds or small mammals or even turtles out here. So now it's time for us to make our very own wetlands. And to do that, you're going to need these materials. So I have all my materials set out here, and yours might look a little bit different, but it's the same general idea with the materials that we're using. The first thing you want to do is take your small bottle and cut it in half. Make sure you tape up any sharp edges so you don't cut yourself. Next, you're going to want to take the top of your bottle and put it inside the bottom. Next, you'll add your coffee filter to that top part, and then add some rocks and some sand. And then you're going to add some soil to the top. And a little bit of moss as well. Oops. To act as our plants. Now we have this nice clean water, but we need dirty water for this experiment. So we're going to dirty this water up. Ah, delicious. Now, before we go any further, stop and sketch and label the materials that you created to make your wetland in a bottle on your worksheet. So before you get started, you're going to want to record the time, and you can use any clock or any timekeeper that you have. Since I'm outside, I'm just going to be using my cell phone, and you're going to want to write that start time down on your worksheet. Once you have that done, it's time to take that dirty water and pour it into your wetland. You'll want to pour pretty slowly so you don't overflow like I did. But as you can see, something is happening to that water as it passes through our wetland. And you'll want to record the color of that water as it's coming out of your wetland, and then go back and record the color of the water that you started with on your worksheet. Once the water has stopped dripping, which may take a few minutes, you're going to record the end time on your worksheet, and we'll see how long it took for that water to pass through our wetland. You can run this experiment as many times as you like. If your water isn't coming out as clear as you would like, maybe play around with what you've added, maybe a little bit more sand, a little more soil or moss, and see the different results that you get. Remember though, this water cannot be drank. That is not something that is safe for you to do. This needs to be cleaned before anybody consumes it. Next, I'm going to take my wetland out and I'm going to put it into my hand. So once you have the materials in your hand, think about how they feel compared to how they felt when you were adding them to your wetland. Are they any heavier? They obviously are going to feel a little bit wetter. Think about ways that they might have changed. Next, we'll look at the bottom part of our wetland and think about that compared to how much water I poured in. Was it more water that I poured in, less? What's the volume of water that came out once it went through our wetland? Now, on your worksheet, write down the different wetland services that you just observed and how they worked in your little mini wetland. When you're all done, don't forget to clean up your workspace and enjoy building your own wetland.